This is the agenda for tonight. For today. Out of personality psychology, there are 6 paths you can obtain, among which are the things stated in the poster. They are building better relationships, understanding yourself and others better, choosing your best career path, employing people based on their personality, how to encourage and discourage people. This has to do with leadership motivation, emotional intelligence, and some ideas for a balanced personality. But how did I start psychology? Before we go into the details, 2019 also, the same year I joined EI. My father received a book from an author called Abdulateef AlJabr. It's called Al-Alaqat Alwan. He put the book on his shelf. He left it. I took the book. I went to him. It was Ramadan. There's nothing to do except to try and fast, try to do things here and there. So I took the book. I started reading it. I opened the first page. It is speaking about my father in scary details. How he walks, how he takes decisions, how he, how patient he is. And then we move on, second page, third page about my friends, people I know. And then fourth, fifth page, it's talking about me. Not in my name, in the traits we have. It's based on a book called Emotions of Normal People, 1928, by William. Who heard about this book? No one. Emotions of Normal People. So a person called William, in 1928, he did a study on normal people. 1928. 28. He did a study on normal people. He found out a set of traits for every person. Based on it, something emerged known as the DISC personality profile, DISC profile. The content of the presentation is based on this profile. Who heard about this, the DISC profile? Okay. The interesting thing about the DISC profile is that it is not based on a place. They don't specify one person according to one personality only, no. It says that your traits is based on the environment around you. For example, I'm with you now, I'm a sound professional. With my young sisters, they kick me, they push me, it's okay. I cannot be professional with them. With my friends, it changes, so on and so forth. But every person has 2 main patterns. 2 main patterns, and we are about to discuss them. Let me break the ice again before we go into details. I would like to take your introduction because 2 of you joined. Please introduce yourself. What is personality psychology? Simple definition: the science of how we think, feel, and behave. There are many theories out there. The DISC profile, the 16 personalities of the MBTI, and the Big 5, the ocean. In the US, this is very well known, the OCEAN. They teach it in university courses. They did many research about it, analyzing people's personalities on social media, on Facebook, and then working on changing their decisions based on their personality. So they took it to further levels. Tonight we are focusing on the DISC profile, but RBYG. Why is it RBYG? Red, blue, yellow, green. And you'll get to find out this. Let me use this paper. And I will start with a few questions. If I ask you a question, let's say today you have the deadline of submitting a research paper, 10 p.m. tonight, not today. One of your friends calls, he said, let's grab some coffee. At 6 p.m. he calls you. You have 4 hours, but you may be tight, you may get late. What will you reply to him?
Yeah, basically I will tell him that I'm busy right now, but I can make it while after finishing the job. Probably I will finish it within 10:30 and I will join with him after finishing the job.
So it's most likely a no.
Yes, but not right now, later.
After the, all right. So you're here in between, something like that. More to the task because you prioritize the task over people. A question for Dr. Ismail. Let's say you want me to join your workshop. you have a workshop about IP, you want me to join it. What would you say? Would you tell me, Abdulateef, I think it will be a good idea to join? Well, you'll just tell me, join my workshop. Will you be direct, or you'll try to give me the benefits and so, and
Of course, I'll try to let you know.
you'll try to come from indirectly, يعني? From perfect. You would be somewhere in between here, indirect, here. Okay, what's this? Using this small plus sign, you'll be able to know anyone's personality. As simple as that. I said in the workshop objective, read people on the go. With that, I'm able to know more than 50% of anyone's personality. It's as simple as that. People are either task-focused or people-focused, direct or indirect, and in between. Here emerges the remaining, or the 4 main patterns: R, B, Y, and G. Red, blue, yellow, green. Let's dive into details about more of these characters. We are in a hall, for example. We have someone, in every family, I'm sure about that. You throw out a joke, and this person criticizes the joke. He said, there's something wrong with this. It's not like this. It's a joke, just laugh. We are starting with explaining these people, the B. These people go into details. Their number 1 priority is the quality. Totally tasks focused. If you are working with them, if they are a boss at your work, your life will be hard because they will try their best to reach the best possible outcome. Those are B. Similar to them, with the task side, we have the R, the red, the practical. They are tasks focused. They are never late on meetings. They are to the point. They don't talk too much. If you say a joke, they will not criticize it, but they will give you small gestures, meaning, or taking into consideration, inside they would be laughing. They would be dying, but they will not show that. These people, you notice them, there are small indicators. When they walk the fastest among others. When they sit, their back is straight. They are very quick in taking decisions. Very quick. Let's say, okay, tonight I'll do a workshop. The material is somehow ready. 5 will attend. It will be 3 to 4 p.m. Okay, I'm in. I did not check if I will be having a transportation. I did not check if the environment will be ready. No. I just had few indicators. I'm going in for the decision. However, if I'm a B, a blue, what will happen? I will ask Mr. Danish for every detail. I will squeeze the details out of them. You know Mr. Danish, right? Okay, why? You see people on the streets, their cars, they put some signs on their cars. In my car, I have a sign. My car is a Primera, Nissan. I put inside the car, King of Primera. Something like that. Very social. If you give a presentation, most likely at the end they are saying, yeah, go on, that's fine. They are giving you reactions. These people, their high, or the good things about them is that they are people focused. They put energy wherever they go. Even when they are coming inside, entering, they do some entrance to the hall. Hello, everyone. They do some moves to grab attention. Their main motive, the why, is an idea, is social proof. For example, this takes to another path. Let's say your father or mother or brother or son is from the pattern Y. You want to motivate this person, you want to grab him to your side or her to your side. Start giving them compliments. Compliment them. Give them, but not any compliment. Give them real compliments. Like for example, mashallah, let's say you are a Y. Wow, your ability to be on LinkedIn and spread the network about KFUPM was perfect. But if you are a B, you'll start criticizing. Why is he saying this? Does he need me to onboard him on the KFUPM? Something like that. To the G. People-oriented. They need to read a book called How to Say No. Most likely they say yes. Always they say yes. Very, very, very kind. If they are totally green, they might lend money to give you money, even if they don't have. Most likely they end with checks without balance. These people, their number one priority is people satisfaction. Usually, these are the late people on meetings. These are the latest people on meetings. These people need help in making decisions. But who do you think helps them in making decisions? From these three? Red. This takes me to the other point. These two are opposite patterns, the red and the green. The red, decision focused, quick in making decisions. The G, the green, they need help. They are people, they look after people's satisfaction. The red, they look after tasks, no people. It's serious. And the B and Y, they are opposite. B goes into details and antisocial, prefer being behind the scenes. The Y, they are always the outspoken people, the public speakers, the singers, the actors, you name it. Now, is it a must that you are only one part of this? No. Aslan, it is rare that you are related to only one pattern. In this theory, you can belong to two main patterns. You get two main patterns.
Can you be in two different parts of it, like two opposite parts? Like, can you be green at the same time red?
Yes. Most likely, if you are so, this is very good. Why? Because this indicates few points, among which is that you are self-motivated. It is hard to have opposite patterns and you are not self-motivated. Because sometimes you make others do the decisions, you take the decision, sometimes you need help, you cannot. You are here in between. And it's even better to have more than one pattern. It's always advised to be here in the middle. That's the ultimate goal, of one of the ultimate goals. Another ultimate goal can be focus on your pattern right here and build on it. You are task focused, stay task focused. We have a project, we have a deadline, we give it to you. But if you are B, we need to write a policy for the company, it's for you. Details. You need to revise an NDA, especially now as entrepreneurs. You need to talk with a lawyer, go through details of a contract. It is for the B. Don't give an NDA or a policy to the Y. They will get bored. They cannot handle it. They don't like details. This comes to the third point or the fourth point, which is employing people based on their pattern. Now we covered, with this small introduction, a workshop that is around 6 hours. I had it once, in around 15 minutes. But of course, there are many details. But before I go into details, tonight you will choose the agenda. Sure.
Yeah, if you look at categorization, can we say that the people in Y and G can be easily biased? Because there are people related to where they are supposed to actually look at work, look at tasks, they look at people. So they might be biased in their decision.
You are right. They can be biased, but others see it. It is important to be biased sometimes. Because there's a philosophy, it says the law, the purpose of it, or any procedure, the purpose of it is the human himself, or herself. So their illustration, we are biased because out of all the laws, that's the purpose. So we give the priority to this person, that they find a way out of it. But you are totally right. If we are, let's say, in a ministry, it would be better to depend on the upper side. Even if you are from this side, it's totally normal. But you must have traits from that side to get the work done. We have 6 parts here. Before I go on, I would like to hear any questions you have. Any question about the 4 patterns?
So I have a question. So I mean, you explained all the different colors, like red, blue, yellow, and green. Can you tell us like what job suits every color?
Yes, that's number 3. If I'll do a voting, basically, you will choose the best information you would like, and then out of every section, there are a set of questions that will help you know these patterns better. So who votes for number 3, the best career path and employing people? There is a hands. Okay, let me go through the paths of this workshop. And we'll do a quick voting, and you tell me, basically, based on your choice, we'll go into the details here, all right? The first one is building better relationships. We'll use this information, and we'll get out a try to and try not to list with the people. One of the best outcomes is building trust with the other person, the first one, number one. You can build trust with anyone, even if you meet him or her for the first time through this theory. The second, consumer behavior. It has to do with marketing, business. Entrepreneurs can focus on that. What convinces people to buy and how to enhance your customer service. Basically, how to convince the person based on their pattern to buy your service. Number three, best career path. As you said, what suits you and what not in your career path, and how to employ people based on their pattern. Four, how to encourage and discourage. Leadership through motivation. Sometimes people cannot be motivated, they must be discouraged. How to discourage them based on their pattern. Five, emotional intelligence. Out of every pattern, there's a good and bad side. For example, the B, sometimes, if they have low emotional intelligence, they will be very fussy, or they will be very critical, criticize mistakes. But if they have high emotional intelligence, they will look after quality. You see, so every pattern has good and bad sides. Six, ideas for a balanced personality. How to be basically here in between. If you are here, how to come to this side, if you're here, and so on. So let me do a quick voting. Which one would you like to go after out of these six? Let's go with number one. Who goes with number one? Three people. Number two, consumer behavior. Okay, we have number one. Number three, best career path and how to employ people. HR, it has to do with HR. Number four, two people. Number five, emotional intelligence. Three. Number six, ideas for a balanced personality. Two. Okay. So we have two that got three. The emotional intelligence and building better relationships. We'll start with building better relationships because it's on the first one. All right. Take out your phones. It's a quiz. Based on what I explained, you'll try to answer how can you build a better relation with every pattern. This is a try to and try not to list. All right. I will be revealing the answers. If you need some papers, it's here. I'll distribute it to you. Or you can use your phones as you like, whatever suits you. If you need pens, they are on the table. I can also distribute them. Or you can help yourself out also. Fun. Yes, who? Yes, thank you, Abrad. I appreciate it.
You left me out because you know me.
You need, I not give you a paper?
Yes.
Please excuse me. I'm not see. السلام عليكم والله. Okay, are we ready? شو اسمه فتحي. You just joined. Try solving the quiz. Good luck. I'll give you an overview about the patterns. Okay, we'll mark only 1 minute for that. تمام. أهلا وسهلا. Yeah.
Just write the color.
Yes, just write the color. Either red, blue, yellow, green, or either it's a mixed. And 1 minute has already started.
It doesn't seem skeletal.
Huh?
Instruction is not clear.
Okay, let me explain it. So there's a try to and try not to list. For example, some people, you must try not to waste their time. Who are they? They are the red. R. Some people, once you finish, you must leave. Who are they? They are also R or B because they are task focused. Use time for entertainment and excitement and fast movements. Exactly, and so on. In case you just joined, you will, don't worry, we'll give you some details about it. And 1 minute has finished. Who answered all these? I give you 30 more seconds. Not right, actually. Try this. I'll give you another one, wait. Okay. I'm revealing the answers, but let me first ask out loud. Number 1, we said R. Number 2, we said also R. Number 3, prepare topics ahead of time. Who do you think? It will be blue. Exactly. Blue. Number 4, don't be informal, inaccurate, or noisy. Blue. Number 5, don't use others' resources or unreliable use of resources. Blue. Number 6, use time for entertainment. We said Y. Deal with the big picture. R and Y.
Number 6, I think I will go for green.
Big picture.
Number 6.
Number
Okay, sorry, we're not here.
6, use time for entertainment and excitement. It's Y. Time for excitement and entertainment. Why they are always high energy. Basically, their motivation is social proof. They like entertainment. They أصلاً get entertainment. They don't like tasks and details and so. All right, number 7, deal with the big picture, R and Y. This takes me to one of the important points. Let me cover it, which is right here. We said these are task focused, but R and B, they have one thing common. They are skeptical. They always question, who is Abdulateef? Does he have the expertise to give this workshop? Is his background psychology, etc.? The R and Y, they share few things. They are both direct, they are both extroverts, and they are both big picture thinkers. The G and B share 3 things. They are both indirect, they are both cautious, and they are both introverts. G and Y share one thing, they are people focused. Let's go back to the questions. Before I go to the questions, were you able to know your pattern between all these 4? Who was able to know his pattern? Or her pattern? Okay, let me do a personality test. Okay, you will get, I'll give you another papers, and I want you to draw a plus line, all right? This is the way you can know your pattern. Okay. So here you got the paper. One more. على البيع. For you because you have a big marker. All right. You know the position of the colors, but this is to help you know your best pattern or your top 2 patterns. Here are a set of traits. Let's start with the top left. If you find any of these traits, just put a tick mark on the top left side of the plus you made. For example, ask yourself, are you practical? Are you a leader? Firm? Quick? If you are quick, put a tick mark. Strong? Direct? Any trait that fits on you, just put a tick mark. We are starting with the R, and then we'll go to the B now. From the B, ask yourself, problem solver, organized, logical, independent, cautious, etc. Now with the Y, social, imaginative, interesting, flexible, creative, you like popularity, you like becoming famous. generous, influential, enthusiastic, energetic. You are a good negotiator. That's a Y. Last G. Courteous, diplomatic, sensitive, patient, a good listener. Your friends tell you you are the best consultant. Combine different opinions, open-minded. Okay, if your most of your traits are from R, give me any sign. If you most, we did B. Yeah, that's okay. You can do it now. Take your time. I'll give 1 minute for that. Especially for those who just joined, it's your opportunity because you can consider this a starting point. If you're done, just give me a voice so I can know. Okay, who's done? Okay, thank you. Let's start with the R. Who most of his or her traits are from the R? Okay, this was clear from your reactions when I was giving the presentation. From the V. Interesting. So now you share. You raise your hand. You share one thing in common together. You are both task focused, meaning we have a deadline. We have a task, and your friends call you out. Most likely, you forget your friends. You do the task. Going to the next Y. Most of your traits. Interesting. Okay, there's one fact I think about you. You don't like routine, right? You like to change every time things. We don't know each other too much. That's a hidden fact. That's one of the things I can know about this pattern. One other thing, correct me if I'm wrong, back at school, you used to change your seats too much. Not really? Okay. Let's go to the G. You are Y and you are G. Who's G with the raise of hands? Most of your patterns of traits are G. All right. Is it hard for you to say no? Yes? And we never met. Right? See, that's the nice thing about it. You get to quickly identify hidden things. Now, for example, I can take that to a next step. I will come to you. For example, I can use this in a good or bad way. Let's say in a bad way, I will give you something. I'll give you a treat. Okay? And then I'll request something from you. Most likely, you'll find it hard to say no. Because one, you are G. Two, I already gave you something that has to do with influence. But the other good side, let's say we have a conflict between family members. I would call you the first one to solve this conflict. Because you would hear from him, he'd hear from her, and try to solve that. You combine different opinions. That's the nice thing about G. For example, you have a teacher. In a teacher-student relation, the most people or teacher the students like is a teacher from the pattern G. Okay. We're good with the patterns. I think even you just came, you have an idea now. What are these 4 patterns, right? طيب, who has the top 2 traits are at the bottom, people focused. Who's people focused here, most likely? People focused. To the downside. To the downside. Who is the people focused here? All right. Here, when it comes, we heard about the volunteering thing 1 week ago. It was very common, the initiative. Most likely those who volunteered and they had the passion to volunteer, they are from the bottom 2 patterns. They are people focused. Right, let's go back to the questions, since now you have an idea. We were at building better relationships. Okay, the third one, the second one you said you would like to know more about is the emotional intelligence, right? Let's go with that. Okay, this is an activity. Use also the papers. It's very simple. This column indicates traits of a low emotional intelligence. They're high emotional intelligence. What's required from you? Next to every trait, write the pattern that has this low emotional intelligence trait. For example, the bossy would be an R, red. The picky would be a blue. They criticize mistakes. Here, the driving would be an R. The persuasive would be a Y. It's a bit hard. Let's go to the details before, or we go with this directly. What do you think?
I have a question. So you said the bossy would be a green? How?
Not a green. Bossy would be a red.
Okay.
The warm would be green. Careful would be blue. Careful would be blue. Predictable, green. Sociable, yellow, exactly. Enthusiastic, yellow. Good listener, green, perfect. Charming, yellow, exactly. Okay, hard to please. Okay, perfectionist, blue. Unresponsive, it's a G. They have one thing about the, welcome on board. They have one thing about the G. The G takes long time to feel blue or to feel bad or to stop dealing with you. But once you let him or her reach this step, اتقي شر الحليم إذا غضب. It means be careful because most likely you will not be able to build the relation again. Once you ruin the relation with a G, it takes long time to build it, a long time to ruin it, but once it's ruined, it will be ruined almost forever. However, the Y, for example, they get angry quickly, but they get satisfied also quickly. Try to, would you like to solve this, or we go with the details directly and I just show you? Solve this? Let's go, let's solve this. Okay? Try to solve that. This will help you know the emotional intelligence part. We'll give 1 minute for that. So to follow up with you, basically, this is about personality psychology. This test, the purpose of it, this activity. Here are traits of low emotional intelligence people, and here are traits of high emotional intelligence people. We have 4 main patterns we discussed: red, blue, yellow, green. Went into details, but I'll show you a picture that summarizes everything right now so you can follow up with us, all right? To explain these patterns. Sure.
What is emotional?
Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand your emotions and others. For example, now I'm giving a presentation. Some people of you are bored. If I'm able to know that you're bored, I have good emotional intelligence. That's one of the things. Some people keep on speaking. Sometimes I do this mistake. Sometimes, no, I say, it's getting bored, let me change. Let me do some activity, let me so. That's high emotional intelligence. Being able to understand your and the other's emotions.
Can we go over again what's the characteristics?
Yes, 3, 2, 1. That's basically it. Okay? These are red. Aggressive, bossy. Criticizer, picky. It's blue. Slow, stubborn, green. Glib, poor listener. Demanding, egotistical. It's red. Fussy, blue, or fusy. That I translated in Arabic, I know it. Impulsive, hard to please. Hard to please is blue. Perfectionist is blue. Regarding the green, passive, unresponsive, resistant to change, slow, stubborn. The yellow, glib, poor listener, impulsive, easily distracted, and selfish. That's the low emotional intelligence. Now to the high, the blue is systematic, neat, detailed, careful. The green is patient, stable, predictable, consistent, and a good listener. The yellow is warm, social, enthusiastic, persuasive, and charming. The red is driving, strong-willed, decisive, assertive, and ambitious. All right?
So let me go back.
Sure.
Yeah, so what is the conclusion?
Now let's say you are from this side. You have some traits from here. Now first you identified your pattern. You said the pattern is most likely Y, right? So let's say you have some of the Y that is in the low emotional intelligence here. You want to shift them here. How can you do that? One of the best ways is to go to the middle side of this graph, balanced personality.
Yeah, so if I'm a poor listener, I need to change that.
It's good to change that. Of course, it would be good. That the left side, if you have any of these traits, it's not something good. It's low emotional intelligence. To change that, your emotional intelligence increased.
So what is not your poor listener?
A good listener, a consultant, for example. But if you go to the Y itself, let's say here the poor listener is Y. But here, the Y, the high side of it, it is, for example, sociable.
So if I think somebody that is highly critical, also the one is sometimes.
Again, the question is?
I mean, I think you said that the policy is yellow, which I tend to disagree.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Who do you think would be a poor listener as a low emotional intelligence?
yeah, maybe somebody in blue, because sometimes they criticize without listening to the one side of
Yes.
the argument. So I would think that somebody who criticize someone also be policy.
Yes, and also the R. You're totally right. Also the R, because the R tries to dominate or to take control of the conversation, is also a poor listener. Exactly. So it's not necessarily these colors, but this indicates low emotional intelligence in this pattern. But for example, a poor listener is R can be a poor listener because he's trying to take control of the conversation all the time. That would be an R. Same for the B. Whenever you say anything, criticize a mistake. Criticize. That's a poor listener also. But this classification, it's in general. You can, for example, a charming, you can find an R as charming. How? They say in the science of like charming, you focus on one task. And who focuses on one task? Do not multitask, the R. They do one thing at a time. They do it fully. So they can be charming, high emotional intelligence, and R. But this is just a general separation for the high and low emotional intelligence. You had a question, I did not answer it.
Yeah, I was just trying to understand. Does it mean that if you have something like a policy here, you have to come out for that on the other side?
Not necessarily, no.
And does it mean that we can add more qualities to this?
You, of course, emotional intelligence, see, as part of the soft skills, you can build over 300 soft skills. And you know that, of course, I mean, among these 300, in this table, only around 20 are listed. So the list goes wide, but you go, the core thing, the core measure to start from is the motive of every pattern. What motivates every pattern? I touch on that. I'll share with you the motive of every pattern because it's basically the core. Once you know the motive of every pattern, you can deal with them in any of these 6 paths. But I'm keeping it till the end. Not necessarily one pattern. It depends. But most likely, if you have the R side, most likely you won't be a multitasker. This doesn't mean that you're not, because maybe you can have the R, you're a multitasker, you are the R, and you also have some traits for the Y. Here and there, like what I'm doing right here, I'm mixing content together, something like that. So it depends. But most likely, if you are a pure R, not a multitasker. Do one thing at a time. I'll open before I go to the motive of every pattern to conclude this presentation with, I'll open the door for questions. Just one thing, by the way. And I'll share with you the final thing that has everything, all the details. This is around 6-hour workshop. It was condensed to 1 hour. At the end, there's a small gift for you because you attended. It's a book that summarizes all of this. You can get your time and go through it. Initially, I'll open the door for questions before you get to see the book. And so if you have any questions, please. Yes. Yes. I must cover this part, the balanced personality. Let's say you are an R. Now the purpose of every pattern here, one of the best purposes we said, you go to the middle. You have a balanced personality. Let's say you are an R. Here are ideas to have a balanced personality, among which are, don't try to take control of the conversation all the time. The nice thing about this psychology is that once you are able to reach this middle part, you will start having traits from the other patterns. Meaning, for example, let's say you are R, you try to do this. Once you reach to the middle, most likely you will have traits from G. Within time, you'll start having traits from the G, the opposite pattern, same with the B and the Y. Let me go through them quickly. For example, you are an R. Here are ways to have a balanced personality. Walk in nature periodically. Take your children or your sisters or your brothers to the park. Play with them. Say a joke out loud. If someone says a joke, laugh. It's okay to laugh. Don't be very serious. Try to break the seriousness. Give others the opportunity to express their thoughts. You are in a conversation. Try to listen more than you speak. R's will find it easy. And there's a fact that let's say you have a pattern, it is hard to change it. Is it impossible? It's not, but it's hard. But it's your natural pattern. Patterns can change within the environment, but your main patterns will never change. And everyone will have two main patterns. Your two main patterns may be R, red, red. Such people, the good side of them, they get things done on time. Let's say they have a university bachelor's, they finish the first. Within 3 to 4 years, they take all the subjects. But the not so good thing about it, for example, as we said, conversations, they take control of them. They don't leave the room for others. People find them very, like they have ego or something like that, but they don't have ego. They are task focused. That's for the R. B, again, who here is from a B? All right, here are ideas for a balanced personality. Make a goal called It's Time to Decide.
Yes, the deadline.
B, because usually, why do they delay? Because they want to ensure the best quality ever. Exercise creativity. For example, the brainstorming sessions. The best person in the brainstorming sessions is the Y. So it would be a good idea for the B to join brainstorming session because it is a trait from Y that they will be getting. Who is here from Y? 1, 2, all right? They say try to focus more on quality. If you are a Y. If you have a set of tasks to perform, focus on the topic in your hand. Do one thing at a time. Because the Y, if you notice somehow in my presentation, I'm getting things together. There's no agenda straight I'm following. That's for the Y. Don't forget that you need to live somewhat with reality. Why? Most likely they live in imaginations more than reality. I will do that. I will be the best entrepreneur. I will be the richest man in the world. But they need to work on that. They need to set a plan. Who can help them set the plan? The B. You will find it hard to set someone opposite to your personality, but you need it. That's why this takes to one of the topics. They suggest that when it comes to a colleague in work or to a marriage, a partner in life, try to take someone from the opposite personality. You will find a hard time at the beginning, but at the end, you both will eventually end up with a balanced personality. This does not mean if you are both in the same pattern, it's not good. It's okay, of course. You can build on the strengths, but it would be a nice idea to have opposite personalities. Why? Try to be on time. Be the fastest, initiate. We are in a conversation, let's say I meet you for the first time, you are a G. You try to initiate the conversation, not me. Most likely the people from pattern G, they need someone to start with them. How are you? My name is Abdulateef. What's your name? Okay, so what are you doing here? G, once they build the relation with you, they will not stop talking. They will open up to you. That's one of the points about G. So as to build a balanced personality, try that you open the conversation. Procrastination is your first enemy. You are great but because you help others, but try to focus on yourself.
What do you call this again? This chart?
RBYG, it is based on the disc profile.
If I want to Google this one.
Disc profile.
This group.
Yeah, I'll give you a book at the end. It has everything.
So I also wanted to ask who are the people that normally study this? Why? What would be the benefit that they can, the advantage? I mean, isn't that they can use this to solve?
For example, one of the main things for entrepreneurs, when I want to employ someone, I will not give a policy and an NDA for a Y to check. I will give it for who? For B. But let's say I have a deadline to finish and I don't want people emotions involved. Who will I give? R. Let's say I want a public speaker. Yellow. Entertainment. But if I want someone to be a team member, to combine the team, green. That's one of the main benefits of it. Another thing is also in the career path, but time is limited, but students, basically, they want to know their best career path. Based on their pattern, they can know the best career path. Another thing is the strength, building on the strength. For example, another thing can be, we said the emotional intelligence, consumer behavior. For example, if I want to convince an R to buy from my store, just put directly the buy now link. Don't let them go through the details. But if I want to convince the B, I must give them the warranty. I must make them know that there will be a warranty. There will be a refund. They need to make sure that their decision is right. If I want to convince a G to buy from my store, a family gift, exclusive for families. Make your young brother happy this age. Something like that.
So this subject matter is from psychology.
Exactly.
And we would say, is this like what kind of psychology? There will be some particular psychology.
You are right. This is personality psychology. There is the clinical psychology that has to do with depression and so. I'm not into that. I don't know about it. It has its people, but what I'm focused on is the personality psychology. We have personality psychology, we have clinical, we have behavioral psychology. Personality, I can say it's part of behavioral. Behavior has to do with influence, for example. How can you influence people based on their traits?
Thank you for making that clarification. Because I was about to say, can we use this to stop depression? Somebody's having clarification.
It's, the good thing about it, actually, they say once you are able to understand yourself, you feel good. When you read that, let me show you one of the things. Who said here you're part of the, what do you call, of the R? Okay? Just read this and tell me out of 10 how right it is. The details in this. Just read it. I read it out loud. You prioritize results and goals. Determined, you set your own goals rather than waiting for others to set them. Irresponsibility annoys you. Your desk remains organized with no paper clutter. You make quick decisions without diving into tasks. That's a spelling mistake. And time management is your strong suit. You are always on time. You don't like long reports. Compliments aren't your style. You keep your emotions to yourself. This does not mean that you don't have emotions, you have, but you keep them to yourself. You don't talk too much, but when you talk strongly. Your body language is strong. When you criticize strong. When you understand that about yourself, you feel good. Okay, I'm normal. It's okay to have that. That's one of the good things. Your motive here is power. Anything that has to do power and control, you get the lead. For example, how can you gain confidence? I tell you, lead the session. No one will get involved. You remember at TAPIC, the kids that came? If there was someone supporting you, maybe you would not like that. I am the presenter, let me present. You were able to gather everyone and let them sit. You were given power, so you had confidence, something like that. We move to the, for example, B, your motive is accuracy, correctness. I'll share with you the book. So quickly, your speeches are long. You go into many details. You start talking about the planet and you touch on 5 topics and then you come back to the main point. You go into many details. If you are a Y and someone is from B talking to you, you get irritated. You want to finish quickly. Okay, quickly. What do you finish? Please finish. But there's another perspective. You see people from B as Ys, and they see you as creative. But if you are B and you see someone from R, how will you see them? You'll see them متسرعين, like they take decisions quickly. They don't think. And R see you hesitant. Come on, take the decision. So on and so forth. Time has run out. I'll leave you with the gift. And if you have any questions, we can do them after the session because we must stick to the time. All right?